Okay, so when we're looking at this particular variation, which we're gonna class as a V squat variation, what we're looking at here in terms of, first of all, setup. We wanna make sure that we're in a position where we're almost emulating what we would be doing when we're performing a conventional squat, whether that's a front bar or a back barbell squat. What we wanna be doing is we wanna be moving through that vertical plane of motion. So when we're coming down, if I just show here without any equipment or weight, just coming down like so, and then back up. So if the bar was on the front, I'd be in this position, and then if the bar was behind, I'd be in this position like so. So in terms of our feet alignment relative to the bar or the line of force coming from that weight, we don't want to have our feet too far forward. So if the bar was back here, we don't want to bring our feet like this position, and we don't want to be behind the bar either. So we don't want to be like that. So we don't want to be leaning forward or leaning backwards. We want to be in a vertical plane of motion throughout the entire set. So going back to this variation, so we've got the V squat here. What we want to do is we want to find a position that's comfortable for us. So as you can see on this demonstration, what I've done is I've added some pads here. So the actual pads that are fixed onto this machine, they stop there, but where I need to line up to make sure that my mechanics is in alignment with this machine and it's suitable for my joints and again my mechanics, I have to position my shoulders on this point here, which is the metal part of the machine. So therefore, when I'm loading it up, there's going to be a significant amount of force and pressure being put onto my traps and also onto my shoulders. So that means that it's going to be uncomfortable when I'm performing this exercise. So what I've done is I've just added the pads here to add a little bit more comfort and cushioning. So just essentially use your instinct. If something doesn't feel right in that generic position, then change it up. If you have the ability to manipulate the profile or change up your stance or your setup position, then do so. But that comes down to using your instinct. Use common sense, think about it. Can I change this up? Can I make the position, can I make the set, the variation, the exercise more comfortable for me? Can I make it so it's congruent with my mechanics? And that's what I've done here. Now, when it comes to performing the actual set, like I said earlier, we don't want to be leaning back, so we don't want to be in this position, so then when we're coming down, we're leaning forward. I can't do that anyway, because I'm going to hit the wall behind me. And we don't want to be too far forward with our feet, so that when we're coming, we're leaning backwards. We don't want that. It's not a pendulum squat, this is a V squat variation. But essentially what we want to be, is we want to be in a neutral position, so to speak. But essentially we're going to be moving through a vertical plane of motion. So here is that setup that I need. And then when I come down, we're going to initiate through hip flexion. We're not flexing at the spine, so we're not bending over like so. We're trying to, sorry, not flex, we're extending. We're not extending through the spine. We're trying to go down through hip flexion. So as you come down, think about this. Push the hips back. I don't know if you guys can see. Push the hips back as opposed to just leaning forward. So here, as I drive the hips back, I'm going to keep pushing back with my hips, and then there's going to be some knee flexion at the bottom, and then drive back up. As you can see, I'm keeping my back nice and straight. My spine is moving through a vertical plane of motion, just down and back up. I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning backwards. So before you actually load up to your top working set, play around with your feet position, your feet width, your shoulder position relative to the shoulder pads here. And then once you've found that comfortable and congruent setup and position for you, you can then start doing a couple of sets without any weight, just to make sure that you're keeping that same excursion from start to finish.